everybody. I'm sitting here polishing my fingernails and I realized I've got to touch things, so I don't know how long that's going to last. Oh well. Welcome! Episode 10 of Ruby Moss Cottage. I can't believe I've made it to 10. Whoop whoop. That's so exciting for me. I know. It's not. It's a little number to so many. Sorry for the earthquake. But for me, it's a huge milestone, so I'm excited. Even though it's been a while, I'm excited to be back. I haven't forgot you. I've just been busy. I was out picking flowers in my gardens. These are some of my hydrangeas. Aren't they gorgeous? And so I thought I wanted to put them on my desk, and now I see they're right in the shot. Hopefully that's not going to be too annoying to anyone. But I mean, they're so beautiful. How could you be annoyed, huh? I've got so many hydrangeas out there. It's like crazy. These whites are Annabelles, and they're already starting to turn back to green. That's sad. I mean, it's sad because I love the color of the white. It's not sad because we're inching out of summer. Don't be a hater. I'm not a fan of summer. I like to wear knitted my knit items. I like colder weather, and hot flash upon hot flash is not good when it's 90 degrees outside. It just kind of, it's just not a happy place. But those are some of my hydrangeas. Thank you for stopping by the cottage again. Like I said, this is Ruby Moss Cottage. It is a podcast about crafting. All things crafting. I mainly do knitting, crochet, but I do paint by numbers. I do embroidery. Yeah, I did bring that up. I do quilting. I sew a little bit. I don't know how to sew. I'm self-teaching myself to sew. Thank goodness it's the age of internet, where you can just Google anything and everything. And I have a sister who's really, she is a sewist. I mean, she's excellent at it, so I pick her brain a lot. She picks my brain at knitting. I pick her brain at sewing. But I do gardening too. I feel like I've kind of gotten away from gardening so much because I'm so busy helping take care of my grandies that I don't really have the time to get out there. Plus, it's hot and I don't enjoy being out there. I do go out and walk around. I did a lot of spring gardening, spring cleanup, but I didn't make it all the way through all my gardens. So I call myself a gardener, but if you're a real gardener, you probably don't. You would not consider me a gardener. I have a lot of flowers, but the beds just don't look that great. But I enjoy what I have. I enjoy sitting out on my porches and looking out over the gardens, and I don't know, it's life around here, so I enjoy it. Trying to think of what's been going on around here since our last podcast. We took a quick trip up to visit family from our hometown in West Virginia, and that was over Memorial Day weekend. So we had a good time there. My daughter and her husband and the grandson were there. And so that was fun watching him interact with that side of the family who he doesn't see much. So that was fun. And then my husband and I took a trip to Atlanta last weekend, a spontaneous trip. We're huge Major League Baseball fans. We love the Pirates and we love the Braves. So spontaneously, Friday morning, he said, or Thursday night, we talked about it. Friday morning, he said, well, do you want to go to the Braves game? I'm like, well, sure. So about 11:30, we packed up and left and went down there for the weekend. The new ball field, SunTrust Park, is beautiful. The Battery all around it. Oh, it's a sight to see. And we had fun. I visited a yarn shop there, Eat, Sleep, Knit. Great yarn shop. I'll let you see a few of the things that I purchased while there. And then, yeah, it is, I feel like this camera is like right on top of me today. I don't know if I'm happy with it. And I just messed my lipstick up. It's still on there. Sorry. That may get edited out. Or maybe not. You know, I watch so many podcasts and they're just so perfect. They're perfectly imperfect, you know? I mean, like, it doesn't appear that they edit out a lot. Maybe they do edit a lot. But it can be so discouraging. I mean, it is enabling, and it hones in my craft, and it just gets me so excited about crafting. But then I look at how good they are, and I'm just like, what in the world am I doing? Who do I think I am that I could do this? And then I get in this funk, and I think, I'm not going to podcast anymore. But you know what? I like doing it. And there are a few of you out there who have really become my good friends through it. And I'm just like, you know what? It's probably never going to be big and grand and great, but I enjoy it. And I'm going to keep doing it for a little while. Hey, I made it to 10. If I can make it to 11, that'd be good. But it's just, here's the thing. It's hard to be a podcaster, watch other podcasters, and see all the interaction and think, gosh, I'll never measure up. And then I have to stop and think, well, why are you doing it? Are you doing it to measure up? No. Are you doing it to make friends? Yeah, and I have. I have made some great friends, really great friends. So, you know, mission accomplished. And I'm going to try not to compare. I know that's hard. I think harder for women than men. And then it's hard to watch other podcasts for the inspiration, and that's why I do. And I love, like, I have so many that I watch that they don't know me, but I feel like I'm their friend. You know, I just like, yeah, we connect. And it's hard to make sure you don't cross over the boundary to where you do what they do, if that makes sense. And so that's another reason I think, oh, just quit podcasting, because it's a real fine line. I mean, we're all knitters, we're all crocheters, we're all crafters. There's only so much you can do. And so, yeah, the bounds are going to crisscross every now and then. But hopefully, if it appears that I am kind of crossing the line and taking someone else's stuff or information, or that's not the right words. Hopefully, if they saw it, they wouldn't think that. Like, they wouldn't think, oh my gosh, I don't know, I knit that, or I say that, or I did that. I just feel like it's a big world, but yet it's a small world. And you just can't get hung up on that, because that's not my intent. My intent is to come on here and be real. And so far, I think I've done that, but I have seen some things I'm like, oh, I hope that doesn't look like I tried to mock her, because, like, I didn't even know she existed, and I just found her. So anyway, a little bit of a rant, or a come to Jesus moment, or whatever they call it. Please know that I'm on here not to appear like I know it all, not to appear like I want to be like someone else. I'm just having fun. Here it is. I'm just playing house is what I'm doing. And that's what it feels like. It feels like you're in the pretend world and I'm just talking to people that aren't really there showing off what I love to do. That's it. Just showing off what I love to do. And hopefully there's a few of you out there that'll continue to watch. Thank you. That's 12 minutes of nothing that I've just done. Maybe I will edit, but let's get started, okay? I have not podcasted since our make-along ended. If you're new and this is your first time watching, we just finished a Felici make-along with the Felici yarn from Knit Picks. And it was a make-along. You could crochet or knit. And I had quite a few that did it. It was fun seeing your projects, seeing all the different colors. Some of you have had it in your stash for a while because I haven't seen a lot of your colors. Really pretty. There were 3 winners. And as you would know, I did not write their names down. I will put that in the show notes, which, if you're looking for show notes, they are in the description bar of this podcast. So, I will show you the prizes at the end. My whole point in talking about the make-along is it was before that. Our make-along ended May 31st. I think I went out of town the week before. So I should have gotten on and podcast and told you who the winners were. But life happens, and I didn't. So yes, we have drawn the winners. They had been contacted, even though I did not do the vlog that I promised. They had been contacted. I have not sent their prizes out, and that's why I'm going to get to show them to you at the end, because my husband was in a car accident, pretty bad car accident. Thankfully he was not hurt, but he totaled his vehicle, so he's been using mine in the interim, which left me carless. And I really didn't want to use my daughter's or my mother's. So I had a lot of people offer. I didn't want to use it because I know what an insurance battle it's been. The accident was not my husband's fault. It was someone else's, and he's fighting with that insurance company. And it's like, well, I sure wouldn't want to put that on someone else and accidentally wreck their car. So I've just opted to stay home. And so I haven't got the packages mailed. Number 1. That is the main reason. Number 2 is I wanted to show them to you. So I guess that helped me not feel so bad for not getting them out, because I thought, oh well, I can just show them off on the podcast. Forgive me, those of you who are waiting on on your prizes. I've thrown a few little extra goodies in to kind of make up for the delay. But that was fun. You can go to our Ravelry group and look at all the projects. You can go to Instagram, the hashtag FeliciMAL, and you can see some of the projects. And then on the Ruby Moss Cottage podcast on Ravelry, you can see the other. There's two threads. One's the chatter and one's a non-chatter. I drew for both threads, and then I drew a prize for the Instagram. So anyway, that is over and done with. I enjoyed doing it. I felt like I got to know a lot of you viewers better because of the interaction of that. I had fun with that. So let's see. I have nothing out of my bags. Nothing. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll notice the 1st of June I posted where I am doing, what is the name of it? Wipe out your whips month or something like that. And so I had a huge stack of whips for June. I know that they're not getting finished, but it has motivated me to keep them, because I've got this serious case of cast-on-itis. And I want to cast on all the new shawls. I want to cast, there's so much that I'm collecting new yarn for, not even using the yarn that I'm surrounded by. So, but in June, I'm trying to stay focused on my whips. Focused on my whips. Focused on my whips. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm halfway there. What is it? The 13th? I'm halfway there. I can do this. I don't need to cast on anything new. Although I did cast on a new pair of socks last night. My niches and I got together, and my sister's wanting to learn to knit socks. So I told her that we would cast on a pair together and we'd do it. So, but that doesn't really count. I mean, you know, that's a new cast on, but it doesn't count. So what's out of my bags? Nothing. What's in my bags? I'm just going to show you a few of the things that I've been working on. The Cozy Memories blanket, if you'll remember, that is one of the big projects that I want to get finished. I don't have it here to show you. I did 5.5 squares. Not a big change. I really thought I was going to conquer that in June. I really thought, I'm going to surprise the world. And I'm going to finish the Cozy Memories blanket. No. So now my goal is summer. If I could just get it finished by summer. If I can get it finished by Labor Day. Labor Day weekend is my goal. Because I just have so many blankets. I've got to start turning some of these out. All right. So, Cozy Memories blanket. That's still in my bags. Been working on that. Okay. You remember the SKU Socks. They're in this bag by Shop Sewflo on Etsy. The SKU Socks. I don't have a picture of the pattern, but you really do need to go on Ravelry and look up the pattern. These socks are gorgeous because they turn. They're askew on your foot. And this does not show it off. It just looks like it's self-striping, and it is self-striping. But it's also when it's on the foot, it kind of turns. So you can say this is your foot is starting to turn. Well, the heel, she calls it the origami heel or something. That's when the twist really starts to happen. And it's going to twist really nicely. And this yarn is to die for. I love it. I've lost the tag. It's Valkyrie Fibers on Etsy. And I'm going to put that in the description bar because I'm going to tell you something. Go buy some of their yarn. I love it. This pattern, I don't remember where I was, at what point I was when I last podcast. Wasn't much further than this. But let me tell you something. I had the heel done and it was starting up the leg. And I tried it on and it was just way too tight across the ankle. And I toyed for about 10 minutes. I thought, am I over these socks? Do I just take it all out and use this yarn for something else? But I like the pattern. I like the yarn on this pattern. So I thought, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to take it back. And I took it back to right here. And I don't know if you can see right here. But I took it to there and I switched needle size. I went up to a size 1. I used size 0 on all of my socks. Went to a size 1 and then up through here somewhere I added 2 more stitches to the front part. Just to give it a little bit more ease around the ankle. And then as I go up the leg, I'll get through the heel, I'll decrease those 2 stitches out and stay on 1s. But it fits. So I did that, probably knit about that much further. And realized I had messed up. I was supposed to have put another stitch marker in and started shaping for the heel. So I had to take out like 13 rows. No, I had to, yeah. And then, so now I'm working back at it again. Begin to think they're cursed. But you really can't call your stupidity a curse, can you? So, these don't get a lot of love. They did get a lot of love this weekend as we traveled because on the way down to Atlanta, we have a convertible. And so, if my husband's driving, top down, if the weather is anywhere near. And anywhere near to him is from 50 to 110. We were driving to Atlanta and it felt like it was closer to the 110 end. But so we were going down the interstate and I'm knitting with wool. And I thought for sure that stuff was going to felt in my hands as we drove. So on the way back, I worked on the sock a lot. But remember the Kate Davies pattern, the Bluebells. It's her Bluebell sweater. It's going to be my Bluebells cardigan once I steek it. It's growing slightly. So see, I've got to the decreases. I mean, it's growing. I'm happy with it. You guys probably think, well, that's not much, but it is, because I think I was about to right here. So that's a lot. This is fingering weight yarn on a size, it's a 3 millimeters, so 2.5. I think that's the equivalency. That's a lot of knitting with fingering weight. So it's coming along in my bags. I really want to have that done soon. Now that I'm to the decrease, I'm starting to increase again for the bust. So it's not a long sweater, so we're working our way. You know what? That's all that's out of my bags. And once I got all that cleared out and I'm looking at the shot, that's in my bags. I do have one thing out of my bags. It's old, and I'm wearing it. I had this, I have to look it up on Ravelry really quickly. It is on my Ravelry page, which is Ruby Moss Cottage. I'm going to look it up really quickly here so I can tell you the name of it. Bohemian is what I'm thinking. That would be Instagram. It's by Tiny Owl Knits. And I'll give you the name of it. I'll put it in the description as well. But I can't remember the name, and I want to remember the name, so I'm going to look it up. It's been so long ago that I've made it. Let me see. Oh, no, it's not Bohemian anything. It's Gypsy. Same thing. Called Gypsy Petticoat. And it's by Tiny Owl Knits. And I used Rowan Purelife Revival, which is like a, what do they call it? Checking my brain out today. I'm just wondering if it's on here, Rowan Purelife Revival. It is the word I'm looking for. Oh, it's discontinued. So never mind anything about that. It was Rowan Purelife Revival is made from used garments. Recycled was the word I was looking for. Revive is made from used garments which have been stitched according to the silk, cotton, viscose content. These are then carded to make regenerated fiber, which is then spun into this beautiful high quality yarn, which gives life and new hand knitting designs. Sorry, you can no longer get it. It's discontinued. You may be able to search for it on a Ravelry and buy some from someone's stash. It is a great yarn. But it's Gypsy Petticoat. Is that what I said? Yeah. And you're not going to be able to see all of it. So you know what I'm going to do? And I'm not going to stand on this chair because that would be dangerous. Woo! But I'm going to try and lift it up. It goes clear down to my knees. And then at the bottom, it has these ruffles. So it is a great throw and go. That
joins a very pretty sweater.
Okay.
Kiki, I mean.
That's the inside of it. So you attach those on the outside. She had this brought together here with tassels. I didn't need any attention brought to that part. They're big enough on their own. Okay, moving on. So this is out of my bags. I happen to have that on. I didn't even think about it earlier. So, I do have something out of my bags. So we've gone through, yeah, out of my bags. Gone through what's in my bags. One more thing I've been working on. And this was from my baggage. Remember, I pulled this out. And baggage, to those of you, if this is your first time, is the projects that have been languishing for a long time. That's my baggage. And so I am I just finished the Karma throw. You will have to look on my Instagram or a last podcast a couple back, because I don't think I've put that on Ravelry yet. I need to do that. But that was my last pull from baggage, and that was like something that had been in, it had been 5 years. I can't even remember. It had been a long time. My granddaughter, when I pulled this out, I'm sorry, it's hot. So my granddaughter, I was working on this the other day, and she said that she remembered me working it. She's 7 now. So we figured out between the two of us it had been about 5 years that this has been in baggage. But this is what it's going to look like. It's by Alicia Paulson, and there, that's better. It's just a sampler. Crewel embroidery. So I think I was on my last podcast, and now, and it's wrinkled, but now I finished the O, P, Q, R, S, T. So now I'm on the U. I can't see what I'm showing you. So I hope that's coming up. So, working on baggage. I enjoy this. It's a nice switch off from knitting, crocheting. The only thing I have crocheted right now that I'm working on is the granny square blanket. I did that a little bit on the trip up to West Virginia, and I haven't picked it up since. That's not really a priority for me right now. So really it's knitting is my main craft, and this embroidery is fun. I'm enjoying it. I've got a lot of embroidery patterns that I would really like to get started on, but one at a time. I'm not going to let it become like my knitting, and I just keep my crochet my embroidery in a little sewing box. So that's all that's out of my bags. Let's move on to, should I do shopping bags? No, let's not do shopping bags. I had gift bags. I won a drawing, I guess that's what you call it, an entry, a contest on Instagram. I think it was, yeah, it was for the, Nordic wind shawl. That's what it was. Blueberryfields, had a contest or an entry, whatever you call it. And so I won one of the prizes. And so what the prize was, excuse me, I've got the hair in my eye. What the prize was one of her bags. Oh, I love this bag. Put a little closer. These are some progress keepers and some stitch markers that I ordered from Knitty by Nature. They are, let me see if I can get them to stop moving so you can see what they are. They're like a summer group. There's a lighthouse, a sand dollar, starfish, and a seahorse. And then a red, white, and blue, like for July 4th. Isn't that cute? I love her stitch markers and progress keepers. So anyway, this bag is from Monica, Blueberryfields on Instagram. She made it, and the inside is beautiful. Flowers. What is in it is the socks that my sister and I are going to start working on. This is the yarn I bought in Tempe, Arizona at Tempe Yarns. And the pattern we're doing, I love this pattern. It's by Amy Meeks of Inked Indigo on Instagram. She is part of the Periscoping Sisters podcast. But it's Flying Seagull socks. And I'm going to make sure there is no part of the pattern shown because it is a paid-for pattern. But that is what we're doing. Isn't that... Oh, I am so excited. I love them. So that's what we're going to be working on. So I think I just cast on the first row last night. I talked so much. I didn't knit very much. I actually had to send my sister. I was supposed to teach her last night at our knit night. I talked so much that I didn't knit. And I had to text her this morning and apologize and say, I'm sorry. I mean, I just got her to cast on, and she's learning how to do socks. Casting on was not that big of an issue, but she's trying to do magic loop. I didn't get her. I just got her cast on and really didn't go into everything else. But I told her I rarely get to talk with adults without it being, you know, uninterrupted adult talk because of the grandies always being around. So she understood. But this is a prize bag. So this came in the mail. Thank you so much, Monique. I love it. She also, oh, I want a pattern. The Nordic Winds shawl is by Cabin 4. So I won one of her patterns, and I picked the farmhouse shawl. If you've knit that, tell me what you think and how much I'm going to love it. I did buy it. I'm going to let that take me into, she also sent me a few other little goodies, some tea and some soap. Love tea. Okay, so I won that bag, and I won a pattern. I picked the farmhouse shawl, and then when I was in West Virginia, I went to a yarn shop, The Nest. It's in Bridgeport. I always have to stop there. It's a cute little yarn shop. But this is the yarn I bought. It's Madelintosh. I just looked up because I just realized it's kind of dark in here. I hope that the podcast is not going to print out dark or print. Okay. Tosh Merino Silver Fox. And it's I thought it was the vintage, but it doesn't say. This is what it looks like. Can you see the beauty of that? All the different colors. So I bought 4 skeins of that. That's what I'm going to do the farmhouse shawl in. So I'm excited about that. I guess that's taking us into my shopping bags. And I'm going to try and do this quickly because I've gotten a lot of shopping done recently. You know, Instagram and podcasts, they cost me a lot of money. But it's okay. It's all good. Spun Right Round. I saw this. Glow bugs. I ordered that. I have only knit with Spun Right Round. I had ordered minis one time. So her yarn is in my blanket. So I can't vouch for what a whole skein is going to do. I love the minis. And a friend of mine, one of my niches, has used hers and really likes her yarn. So I'm sure it's a very well made yarn. Now these I know are, oh, she sent me some. You know I love this lady. Bam! Evil Little Goats. Her tonals, she just put up recently. I was like, I have got to have some of those. I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but I just love them. And I just love supporting small business. She also sent stitch markers, but they just fell. And the stitch markers is a music note. All of her yarn names are songs. Most of them I don't know. Like this one is Tangled Up in Blue. And this one is Patience. Someone said, I posted a picture on Instagram. My Nordic Wind shawl was on my red chippy swing. Red chippy painted swing. And someone said, that'd make a great yarn color. And so I said, yes, it would, Evil Little Goats. And she said, not going to happen unless it's the name of the song. So she sent the stitch marker or the progress keeper, whatever, is a little music note. Goes very well with her. Okay, the next set is Maker's Haven. Amber from Maker's Haven. And this was one of hers that I ordered. And then I ordered the Yarn Club of the Month. And I've had this for a while, so I'm sure everyone who ordered June's Yarn Club of the Month. This color, I'm sorry, was What If I Fly? This one, the Yarn Sock Club of the Month, was The Bee's Song. And she had 2 progress keepers with it. Isn't that beautiful? This is a yarn club, so I don't know that you can get it. I don't know really how Amber does that. Beautiful yarn. And then she sent a little mini along. Sweet of her. That's not all. I watched Jody and Tracy, the Grocery Girls podcast, like, you know, they're my BFFs. That's what I was talking about, you know, like when you watch this podcast and you know them so well and you just, yeah, you think in your head, in this little world, this little bubble here, that you're friends with the people on that side of the screen. And so they cost me a lot of money. I'm forever watching it on my podcast and on my phone at the same time ordering the things that they're talking about. This was one of them. I loved this. It was, they went to a yarn show in Edmonton. I want to say Frolic Fiber Festival or something. I don't know what it was. And this lady was there. And again, her name is Britta, but I'm going to have to put everything in the show notes. But this is a needle. Whoops. Okay, great. Studio Britta is who this is. And she's on Etsy, and I will put all of that in the show notes. But this is a needle cozy or case for all my embroidery needles. So, like this needle here would just slide right in there to the felt. And then I'll put that in my project bag, and I would always know where my needles are. I fell in love. So, Britta, thank you. I love that. Great job. And then I ordered some other things. They're not here yet from Tracy and Jody's podcast that okay. I also ordered yarn from Lollipop Yarn. I'm going to take it out of the little bag. I was just on Etsy one night, just browsing like you do, and I saw she had some yarn in her shop. So I immediately texted my niches and told them all about it, because, you know, that's what you do. You enable one another. And isn't that gorgeous? This colorway is Main Squeeze. So that is going to be a nice pair of socks. I know, it's been bad. Then, I said we went to Atlanta. Let me just show you everything that's in that bag. I hope these are not bugging people. They're kind of in the way, aren't they? I'm going to go real quickly through this. This was Eat, Sleep, Knit. If you are ever in the Atlanta area, for a short time anyway, because they're getting ready to move this summer, they told me, you must go to Eat, Sleep, Knit. It is like a grocery store. They need a shopping cart versus the little baskets that they give you. Because the aisles are they're just long grocery store aisles. It's what they appear to be. And they've got yarn. Just, oh my goodness, so much yarn. And every great yarn carrier, they have got, you cannot believe. And sweater weight, I mean, sweater quantity, blanket quantity. I mean, it's just huge. And they're moving, which they'll be doubling their space. I can't imagine. I cannot imagine. But this is Madelintosh, and it's called, and the reason why I keep looking is I can't even read the name. But I bought this. I thought that would be cute to put in my giveaway stash. Nice, colorful. The rest is for me. This is just a hedgehog. I don't have much that has the pops of black through it. This is called Oracle. I really love that. So I got that. Then I bought this by Madelintosh. It's Dandelion. I had not seen their Dandelion yarn, I don't think. And I'm crazy about dandelions. I love the whole concept of making wishes and then just putting them out there and then they fall and seed and pop up. And I know dandelions are annoying in your yard, but if you can get past the annoyance and just see the whole concept of what a good deed does, what love does if you just blow it out there and you plant it. Oh, I love it. So anyway, when I saw this dandelion, I'm like, okay, I have some of that yarn and I don't even know what I'm doing with it. So I got these two skeins, and then I thought, well, you'll probably make a shawl, and I liked this Madelintosh with it. So I am trying to come up with a pattern, or find a pattern. I'm not trying to come up with one. I'm trying to find a pattern to do with that. Then, okay, we're at the bottom of this. Then I bought these. These are two hedgehogs right here. And this. And I'm also doing a shawl with that. I do know what shawl. This is chunky weight and it's going to use a size 19 needle. So it's a very airy, lacy, big shawl. I don't remember the name of it. It doesn't really matter because it's probably not going to get done anytime soon. But that is what I bought at Eat, Sleep, Knit. If you're still with me, I have just another bag to show that I bought. On the way back, my husband said, why don't we just get off the interstate and take some country roads back home for a while? And so I'm always up for an adventure. So that's what we did. And we went through Athens. And there's a yarn shop there called Revival Yarn. Another great yarn shop. It's little, but it was cute. And so I thought, I don't need any more yarn. I didn't really need any more bags either. But I like this bag. It's a SKEW bag, like a big bucket bag. Pockets inside, pockets outside. Oh, I thought it'd be a great, like when I go to knit night or a blanket. I don't know. I had to have something. They were just so nice in there. I wanted to support them. I think that's all that's in my shopping bag. I'm up to 44 minutes, and I didn't think I'd have anything at all to talk about on this show other than the prize winners. So that takes us on into the prize winners, and let me make room here. I think I've showed you the prizes. Again, I'm going to show them one more time so I can just kind of promote the makers. This is a box. This is not a box. This will be what you call a bag, and it's by Lolan Originals. She's on Etsy. And then this is Mrs. Babs yarn. So that's one prize. And like I said, I'm putting other little things in with it just because they've been so kind and so patient. Another, this is Allegria yarn. Isn't that bright and colorful? And then this is, it's a bag I picked up at a yarn shop, but it's got a little grommet there. And so I thought that would be just a cute little bag to give her, to add to the package. So that's for prize. And then Evil Little Goat yarn. She gave me that to give away. And this bag by Awesome Granny goes with that. Bags by Awesome Granny. Check her out on Etsy. Great shop. So yeah, little hedgehogs and toadstools. So that's the 3 prizes that are going out with some extra little goodies in them for their patience and waiting upon me to get things rolling. I think that's it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. There's not a lot going on at the cottage right now. We are, I think we're in slow mode. It's our anniversary Friday. Today is Tuesday. Our anniversary is Friday, 33 years. Does not feel like it's been that long. Good heavens, it just feels like it was just yesterday. Well, not yesterday, but it doesn't feel like 33 years. But we're not doing anything. I think we're going to maybe scoot out of town one evening. But it's Father's Day weekend, so it's kind of hard to really to celebrate too much. Although I think we're leaving Saturday, so we won't be here for Father's Day. But other than that, I think we're going to pretty much be here for a while, unless the mood hits us and we're out of here. But nothing is planned. Nothing is planned until vacation in August. So I guess that means just some tea sipping, book reading, crofting, grandy watching, food eating, kind of summer weather, porch setting, kind of slow summer, those slow days of summer. But that's it. Nothing too exciting. You can follow me on Instagram as Ruby Moss Cottage. Ravelry as Ruby Moss Cottage. We have a Ravelry podcast group, Ruby Moss Cottage. And please feel free to hit the subscribe button. You'll get notifications then of when I post. I'm kind of sporadic. I'm not every Tuesday or every other Tuesday. That's what I thought I was going to do when I started out. Oh, we're going to do this every other Tuesday, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, right. And then life happens and you're like, oh my goodness, it's 2.5 weeks. It's 3 weeks. But maybe I should do it every week. It'd be smaller, shorter podcast. It wouldn't be so long. I'll put a video here at the end. Let you see a little bit of what's been going on around here. And I don't know if I've taken any new pictures of my gardens, but if I have, I'll put those up. My grandies, some of our trips. That way you can just see along, kind of live along. And then I'm working on another knit along, make along. I'm not sure which it is. I'm working with another podcaster on that. So stay tuned for news on that. And I hope you're having a great summer. Remember to live and let live. And in all you do, take it one stitch at a time. Thank you so much for stopping by and spending your time with me. And enjoy your summer. And I'll be with you again real soon. I have to work through all this yarn.